So welcome everyone. I'm very happy to see so many of you have come to our webinar. Given that it's very late in a lot of Eurasian countries all over this side of the world, thank you very much. I would like to first, before we start all of this grant information, to congratulate you with the new year. Those of you who also celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I wish you success, happiness, and good luck in upcoming 2017. To introduce myself, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Natia Sharkadze, Flex Program Associate. I work on Flex Alumni Program with Bilal Khan, my colleague, who just muted himself, but he will introduce himself in a little bit. I work on Global Youth Service Day grants, and today I'll be speaking that portion of the webinar. Bilal Khan is also Flex Alumni Program Associate, working with me from Washington, D.C. office, and he'll be talking today about Flex Alumni grants and Yes Alumni grants. If you have questions during the webinar, please write to us in the chat. And Bilal will be able to answer you. And while Bilal is talking, I will be able to answer your questions, okay? Great, so let's get started. As I said, we'll start with GYC grant. The big change this year is that before Global Youth Service Day was only offered for Flex alumni, and this year, we have it for Yes Alumni as well. And I'm very excited to see a lot of USD grant applications from Yes Alumni as well. Global Youth Service Day. Bilal, can you help me change the slide because it's not working from my side. So Global Youth Service Day is the largest event that involves youth around the world. It's the largest day of service and the only day of service dedicated to children and youth. And American Council celebrates Global Youth Service Day, which is not really a day, but a weekend with Youth Service America, that is the major organizer of the event. We joined this great initiative every year for more than 17 years now. And we provide grants for Flex alumni and Yes alumni to do community building projects in their communities, hometowns, villages, or countries in general. We have small scale events, but we also have very large scale events with Global Youth Service Day. In general, before we go to Global Youth Service Day grants, I want you to step back and think about the grant programs that we offer. As I said earlier, we have GYSD grants and Flex alumni grants and Yes alumni grants. All of these grants are there to help you contribute to your community. And they
Natia,
are, yeah.
Can you see it now?
I see the search slide. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to give you the remote control and see if you can just do it so it's easier. There we go.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So as I was saying, we have the grants are supported and funded by U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs, in short we call it ECA, and it's administered by American Council for International Education. And generally with these grants, we support alumni initiatives in their countries and regions, but we also help alumni develop their professional skills in project management. So maybe clean up in your hometown won't change your country's economy, but it will definitely help recently returned alumni to develop their small project management skills. So that is what we want to help with, while administering grants programs in general. So let's go to the next slide.
Is it working?
No, it's not. Can you please go to the next slide?
Okay. Just a second.
Okay, so we were talking about USD grants, and you already saw this slide. It was a world map with tons of dots on it. And these dots all represent a project that happened during Global Youth Service Day last year. So do you see all of those dots everywhere, all over the world? Most of them go to the United States, but then there are a lot of other dots all over Eurasia too. Last year, I'm happy to say this, I keep saying it everywhere, Kyrgyzstan got the second largest number of events, Global Youth Service Day events all over the world after United States. And a lot of those projects that were from Kyrgyzstan were done and administered by Flex Alumni. So we take pride in that. And this year, I hope to see, if not number one, a lot of other countries, Flex and Yes countries in top 10 of those lists of countries that contribute to Global Youth Service Day administration. So to give you a brief overview, the Global Youth Service Day grants offer funding up to $500, and you have to have 50% cost share. And we'll get to cost share a little bit later, but remember, we can fund grants up to $500, but you have to have 50% cost share. These grants are available for approximately 1,400 Flex and Yes alumni in 15 countries, and you can see the list of the countries that can apply for Global Youth Service Day grants. And this year, Global Youth Service Day weekend is going to be April 21 to 23rd, 2017. On the screen, you also see the link, a Bradley Herald link that takes you to the project summaries of USD grant projects that happened in 2014, 15, and 16. So you can just go there and click on the project and read about it and get inspired. You also, there's a second link, ysa.org/ACT-programs-GYSD, where you can discover more information about Global Youth Service Day. Generally, Global Youth Service Day has 6 concepts that they work around. So one of them is health, the other is education, environment, hunger, community well-being, and human rights. As long as your projects are around those themes, they fit in the Global Youth Service Day framework. And let me show you something very interesting. So I'm going to share a screen.
Okay, go for it, Nadia.
Okay.
And Nadia, whenever you want me to change the slide, just say it so.
Okay.
Everybody else, if you can hear us perfectly, can you write in the chat after this what Nadia is showing that you can hear us? Thank you.
You guys, you should be able to see my screen. Youth Changing the World. This is the website of Youth Service America. And the way you go here is just you go to youthservice.org. And then here you go to Global Youth Service Day and you click on Pick Your Project. And here there are those causes that you can be part of. And let's say you want to do something that has to do with environment, right? So we click on environment, and if you don't have your project ideas yet, here are tons of ideas that you could do. And so it can be connected with water, waste, climate change, and there are these tips about the projects that you could do. And maybe you already have a plan in mind, but if you don't and you want to be part of Global Youth Service Day weekend, you can go here and check out all the causes and suggestions. You can also go to Bradley Herald, as I mentioned earlier, and here, if we go to home, and then we go to grant, alumni projects and activities and GYSD grants. You can see different countries, and let's say you want to see all the projects from Armenia. You click on Armenia, and there is a list of all the GYSD projects that happened last year and the year before that. So you can figure out more information, what happened, how the organizer did this project, and maybe that will be something that could also work in your community, or that if there's a need in your community, and you can just copy the event or get inspired by the event and make something similar or bigger or smaller or whatever you feel like your community needs. So let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Okay, just a second.
Uh-huh.
Can you share see it now? Oh wait.
I could share it from my screen actually.
Okay, that would be easier. So you could that would change as you go. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So we already talked about the slide. Next slide. I just wanted to go over the pictures that are on the slide. And here you can see that, for example, the first picture with the girl in t-shirt and the basketball hoops and a lot of people on the background. That's a project by Ayjan Abisheva from last year. And she organized a women's streetball tournament in Astana, Kazakhstan for 10 university teams, only for women. So young girls took part in this competition, and it was to raise awareness about healthy lifestyle and about to promote the sports in general as well. And that was a very large scale event, bringing together 16 teams from different cities of Kazakhstan to Astana. Next picture, this is from a while ago. This is a project from 2014. And this was Help and Travel Crimea project, where our Flex alumni went and cleaned up the territory of a park, and that later they visited a museum to discover the history of the area. The third picture with a lot of kids and balloons and posters, that's a picture from Tajikistan from 2015. Our alumna Dilapur Sharipova, along with the help from Tajik alumni, organized the orphanage renovation project, where she collected money from Flex alumni and community members to buy sports equipment, and also raised money to renovate the gym for kids with visual impairs. In the picture after that, where you see the streetlight balloons, that was a project by Miriam Beketbaeva. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. It was the project also from 2014. The project was named 5 Minutes May Save Your Life, and it was a huge campaign across Kyrgyzstan where alumni promoted safe roads and basically educated kids in high schools about how important it is to A, drivers know their rules of traffic, and B, citizens know where to cross and all their rights. At the bottom, the first picture on the left, you can see that's a lot of kids exercising. That's a project from Serbia from last year. Our alumnus Strahinja Družić organized Healthy practice in Negotin, Serbia. And it was again one of those days where alumni promote healthy lifestyle, and he partnered with local organizations to promote healthy lifestyle. They did a lot of workouts. They showed kids how to do different types of exercises. They also had informational sessions for them. The picture next to it is actually warm-up exercises before marathon in Kyrgyzstan last year. Our alumnus Eldar Amankulov organized a marathon in 2 cities of Kyrgyzstan, and this is from one of the events. The picture after that is not one person hugging the other. It's our alumni coordinator in Georgia, Anu Katonishvili, showing attendants how to do first aid help. And I guess this is a picture of demonstration. I thought it was a funny one, so I included it in the PowerPoint. I hope you smiled. And the next one is our alumnus, Yelena Minic from Montenegro. Yelena did 2 months long English teaching program for elementary school students. Some of them you can see on the picture with her. And at the end of the project, they also planted 100 small saplings, tree saplings, around the elementary school. So as you see from here, GYSD does include a lot of cleanups, but it does not have to be just cleanup. And trust me, it's not. It's very interesting. And last year alone, we had 66 projects happening across Eurasia by Flex Alumni. And this year, I hope it will be more. So with your help, I hope we will have more projects and more interesting and diverse projects as well. You see the link at the bottom. It's ace.americancouncils.org/alumni. This is a link to access the application, and I'll show you how that works. So once you sign up for the once you go to ACE American Council.
Nadia?
Yes.
I was just hoping that before we get into this, because this one is the complicated version sometimes, do you want to see like if somebody has any questions for what we talked so far? I was just hoping because I see a few chat options open.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone who has a question, anything, or should we proceed? If we proceed, just say yes in the chat, please. Thank you.
So
All right.
just going to click on this, and this is how the application looks. We'll come back to application and go through this in details for both grants after Bilal had time to talk about Flex and Yes Alumni grants. But for now, I want to continue on unless you have questions.
Okay, everybody's saying yes, so I think you should go ahead and continue, please. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So next, and I think this is going to be one of the most important parts of today's talk, or I mean, I guess my speech. So Global Youth Service Day Matching Grants Program is very similar to Flex Alumni grants, and I'll point out the things that might be different down the line. Big thing that I want you to know is financial terms. So budget, think like very carefully while putting together a budget. Don't exaggerate the prices because we will know. And then we will have to write to you and follow up with you, and we will ask you to cut the prices down. So if pen costs 10 cents, 20 cents, and 50 cents, and the very nice pen costs $5, please include maybe 20 or 30 cents pen. So if dollar market crashes or goes very up, then you still have some money, but and you can afford the cheapest, but also so that it's reasonable. So take the prices that are in the middle, not too expensive and not too cheap either. Next one is support letters. For Global Youth Service Day, support letters are required, and I'll get exactly to what support letters are a little bit later. But the thing that is very crucial for you to remember is that support letters must include the monetary value. So when organization tells you that they are going to help you with your project and they're going to provide 50 notebooks, which otherwise will cost $50, please have them write it in the support letters that they will be providing 50 notebooks that otherwise would cost $50, but this one will be for free. And I'll show you samples a little bit later. For GYSD, you will receive 100% of funds right away, which is different for Flex Alumni grants, and Bilal will mention that a little bit later. Each applicant is responsible for considering taxes and other fees. So a lot of countries have taxes on grants. So for example, if you receive $500 and maybe your country has 20% income tax on grants, you will end up receiving only $400 in total. And then that means that you lost $100 that you maybe were planning to use on stationery, okay? So please be careful while you fill out the application. And of course, you can read a text code about it, or you can just go and ask American Council's office and alumni coordinator in your country if there are some taxes or some fees that you should consider. Very important part is that we don't fund salaries for alumni. We don't fund durable goods such as t-shirts, gifts, construction materials, and computer equipment. So please keep this in mind while you're putting together your budget, okay? But this doesn't mean you cannot get t-shirts as a cost share from someone else. Maybe some organization, let's say Red Cross or Red Crescent in your country, would like to give you some t-shirts for your volunteer event. Sure, that is great. It just, we won't be able to fund it from the grant amount that you will receive. Is this clear so far? Next is, I have some tips for you for successful application. And this applies both to Flex Alumni grants and USD grants. So listen up. Please remember to include bank commission fees and transfer fees sometimes. And I've seen that a lot, where alumni receive dollar transfers to their dollar account and the bank takes $14 right away. And sometimes it's 1% of the total amount, sometimes it's more. So please talk to your bank and include that in the budget just in case, to be safe. Start working on your application early. And we have about 15 days left until the deadline. So by now you should have opened application at least to see what information you need to fill out the application and have your project proposal submitted. Next one is legal issues. In different countries, it's different to administer projects. Some countries you need permissions to conduct your project. A lot of times when you're dealing with high schools, directors might ask you for some permission from local resource center or Ministry of Education, or if you're using park for marathon, you might need some letter from the park administration. So just figure out where you're doing your project and what are the things that will be necessary for your project. A lot of times what I see is alumni like describe a project problem very well for maybe 2 pages, right? And then they don't have a plan what they're doing written down, or maybe they say it very briefly, so it's hard for me or any other evaluator to figure out what you are actually planning to do. And then we go to the budget, and in the budget there is like, oh, stationery fees, oh, the coffee break, and then you think, oh, so this person is organizing a training where she needs stationery and coffee break, but she didn't mention it in the proposal. So a lot of times, maybe you have great ideas in your mind, but we won't know it unless you write it down. And sometimes you think you wrote it well down, but have somebody proofread it so they understand exactly what your idea is. And the questions that those people will have who read your project probably is going to be the same questions so the evaluating team is going to have. And then we are going to follow up with you, ask you those questions. So it might be just easier, so you get all the information in right away. Someone raised a hand. It is telling me. Okay. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask me a question.
Or you can even write in the chat and I can read it out for you. But please ask questions. If you have any feedback or any confusion, please, this is the time to do it. Thank you.
Okay. And the last tip here was evaluate your project. A lot of times you know better if you have time to do this project, if you have enough experience to do this project yourself, if the money that you're requesting will be enough. So if you have any reservations, ask other experienced alumni, ask for help, get a stronger team, but also evaluate your project and have mechanisms of like how you will know that your project is successful. So think twice before you fill out the application, what you want to get out of this project, what are the goals you want to achieve, and if you have enough support to do it alone, or if you have a good team that will support you throughout the process.
There's a question for Nadia and for, I think, both of us. It's Masha. She's saying, are Flex alumni from Russia eligible for any of those grants? We can, Nadia, if you want to go about it.
Yeah, so Masha, this year, Russia is not on the list. I can check with my supervisor and let you know. Are you currently living in Russia?
Yes.
Okay, so how about we will write down your name and last name, and we will check for sure and let you know the final answer. But I am suspecting, since it's not on the list of countries that are eligible, you might not be able to apply for the grants this year.
But there's always different opportunities and different activities happening, because last year when I started doing the Flex Alumni grants with alumni, I got a lot of these queries from alumni from the Flex countries that we do not operate in. So there's always something
Uh-huh.
happening. We can write it
So
together.
let me Mhm. And we can always maybe support you from alumni through US Embassy or other organizations who can help you with your project. So definitely don't get discouraged. Let us know what your project idea is, and we will see how we can support you have your project come through. Okay? Perfect. So moving forward, what should be in your grant description? Um, it's important to note that why you're doing this project, because you want to have fun organizing camp, or this camp is actually going to teach participants something new, something skills that they need to develop themselves in specific field, or skills that they really need to continue on with their professional life, right? So you have to be very clear what is the biggest importance of your project and why we should support it. And it does not have to be something reaching for the stars. It just can be like, this is, for example, my community does not value, I don't know, clean environment. And I think by educating young children, I can help next generation grow that is more understanding of why it's important to preserve our environment. Reference to personal experience. It can be, your proposal can be something that comes from your personal experience. Maybe you went to America and you saw something was done in a way and you thought that maybe that could work in your community, and now you want to bring it back and do a similar project in your community. So if it has connection with your personal experience, that would be great. Please let us know about it too. We're interested. Next is, it's very important if you can include surveys, tests, or statistics in your application. I myself, before I started working for American Councils, I received 4 Global Youth Service Day grants. And every time I would fill out the application form, I would think about, like, okay, I consider this is a problem in my community, but is it just me, or other people also think like that? And in Georgia, we have this website, stats.g, or Caucasus Barometer, where they measure different opinions by people, youth, elderly, and then you can, like, search through those. For one of my projects that was about safe roads, I also used an article which stated by a local person, but also from somebody who was visiting Georgia, how roads were not safe. And I included those links. So it's not just you saying that, oh, I think this is a problem, but actually there is a data that mentions that there is a problem about this is actual problem in your community. Next one is geography. Sometimes geography can be very decisive, and I've learned a lot about different issues in different countries by just reading the grant proposals every year for GYSD. So maybe person reading your proposal does not know what is the situation, that maybe there are a lot of ethnic minorities living in your region. Some people will know because they have experience working with these countries and they have the good awareness, but some of the evaluators might not know this country specifically. So it's very important that you let us know why this project might be crucial in this region or working with this community. If problem has a history, let's say there was a conflict and there are like 2 ethnic groups living together, we want to know about that too. So please let us know that in your proposal as well. And you should also have overview of causes and possible consequences of your project. Like what you think will happen after your project. Is it just a fun training that you will do, giving a speech and feeling also special that, look, I'm talking to other people, or this will actually help people understand a point? And it can be, hey, volunteering is important, and let's go do some volunteer event. Or will it just be like, hey, I went to America, it was fun, bye. So basically what I'm saying, of course, I don't expect anybody will do just that. But the point here is that I think it's very important for the evaluator to see how you see your project will help others and benefit them or their community. GUSD grant deadline is February 1st, 2017, 11:59 EST, which is basically the end of the day in Washington, D.C. time. But please don't wait until last minute, because sometimes there are questions that alumni have, and DC 11:59 is like 8 a.m. for me. And if you're going to write to me at 5 a.m., I'm not going to have answer for you until I get to work next day, and then you're already late. So please at least have a day before the deadline when you submit your proposal, so I can be helpful if you need assistance. I see some questions. So Mihaila, my name is Mihaila from Moldova. I have a question. Can Flex Alumni 2016 apply for this grant? Yes, yes you can. Okay, so moving to the next slide. Can anyone tell me, maybe unmute and tell me what is a matching grant? You guys know what is the concept of matching grant? Because
you could write in the chat.
Because we keep saying like Flex Alumni grants and yes alumni grants, but for GUSD it's Global Youth Service Day matching grant. So what's the matching grant? Oh, somebody already has an answer. Oh no, so it's still. So can anyone tell me what is the matching grant?
Yes.
Is it Bilal?
No, it's not me, sorry.
Okay, so please go ahead and let us know. Okay, David, please let us know.
Okay, Yanlik, she's the alumni coordinator for South Kazakhstan, and she says when requested grant amount of money equal to cost share. And David said somebody already did. Of course, David, we see that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, David and Yanlik.
Okay, so thank you, Yannick. That was a good answer. But not to confuse you, what is a cost share? I'll bring it to the very basic concept. So let's say you have $10 that you want to donate to this awareness campaign, and you want to print some flyers with this $10, and that is a cost share because you are you're willing to put your $10 in this project and print some flyers, right? So if you have $10, then you can ask us $10 to maybe buy some, I don't know, trash bags. So you can do cleanup after you give out the flyers to people. This was a very, very basic concept of explaining what's a cost share. So what matching grant means is that for every dollar you raise, we're going to give you another dollar. So let's say if your high school is willing to give you a room for the training about volunteering, and this is again very basic example, right? And later you want to go and do a cleanup with these volunteers who you just trained. This room to rent otherwise would maybe cost you $30. Let's say just $50, okay? So you have a room for free, which otherwise would cost you $50 to rent. This means that you have $50 in cost share. On the other hand, you need to buy trash bags, and maybe you need to buy some drinks for volunteers and some gloves, right? So you can ask another $50 from alumni program, and it will be matched. So you have $50 in funding, and we will give you another $50 for cleanup materials. Is this clear? So the cost share does not always have to be in form of cash. No, it actually almost is never in forms of cash. It is usually something that you get for free from someone else, and it can be a person, it can be an organization, it can be government, it can be anything or anyone. Okay. Basically, matching grants is very important. Matching in GYSD grants is very, very important. Without matching, we will not be able to give you funding. Generally, there is always matching. There is always something that is a cost sharing grant project. Alumni just don't think about it. And to give you examples, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide. So cost share and in-kind contribution can mean similar things. Venue at a university, school, or American Corner, or any other educational institution, or it doesn't have to be an educational institution. If somebody gives you venue for free for your project, it can be considered as a cost share. Stationaries. A lot of times, a lot of organizations are willing to give you stationery for free, paper, pens, especially like when your target audience is also their target audience. So for example, if you're having trainings for young alumni in the region to help them choose their future careers, a lot of times universities will give you pens and notebooks for free. And I am saying this because I know for a fact, not only in Georgia, but in other countries, this happens a lot. So think about who else might be interested in your target group and ask them to help you with the stationery or other materials. Electronic equipment. We don't fund purchasing computer or any other computer equipment, but does not mean that you cannot get those things for free from other organizations, right? You don't need to buy a computer, you can just borrow it for a day, right? So that already means that otherwise you had to pay rent for it. But if, yes.
Just one thing I would like to say, that when you guys are seeing what Nadia is showing and what she's talking about, so this, most of this goes for Flex and yes, alumni grants as well. So please pay a lot of attention when she's talking about these particular things. Thank you. Continue, Nadia.
Okay. Thank you, Bilal. Good point. And then, so computer projector, speakers, printer, scanner, camera that you need. Also, if those are provided by someone else that otherwise you had to pay money for, but this time they're renting it to you for free or like letting you borrow for free, that means that this is already a cost share. So if this person just writes you a letter that, or this organization, for example, let's say a school, to make it very simple, the school is giving you a room for training, and they're also letting you borrow computer and projector and speakers for presentation. That already means that maybe you have $50 in cost share for a room and let's say $10 each for a rent of computer, projector, and speakers. That is already $80 in cost share. Next one is equipment and building materials. A lot of times some projects need equipment to to actually organize these projects. For example, some trucks that will take the trash bags away, or some malaria spray trucks, right? Or some building materials like crushed stones. And those things won't be funded by Flex Alumni program, but you might receive those things for free by local government or by local organizations or just some neighbors. So those could be also considered as cost share. I already mentioned this. We don't fund t-shirts, but if you receive them from other organization as a support, that is great, and that is considered as a cost share. In fact, one of the slides like earlier included the picture of people in yellow t-shirts where it said GYSD matching grants, Flex logo and American Council's logo, and the partners logo. So that way your the partner organization is promoting themselves as being part of the project, but they also promote your logos. So and the same goes for pins and banners. You can get all of those things from your partner organizations, maybe for free. And a lot of times universities do that. So I know for a fact that Nazarbayev University does this, AUCA in Kyrgyzstan, a lot of universities in Georgia do it. So basically I can name at least one university in every country that will provide you with a banner or with a room for free or give you some promotional materials. Sometimes some businesses give out food and snacks or water for free. Personally, when I did one of my GYC projects, a local mineral company gave me 70 bottles of water for cleanup activity, and the Pepsi local branch gave me another 70 bottles of Pepsi for lunch break. So that was great. And there was like another company that imports Lay's chips in Georgia, and they gave me like 10 boxes of chips for lunch.
Yeah, I think if you're doing a project on diabetes awareness, that wouldn't be a good idea to get 70 bottles from Pepsi. just just a feedback. Okay, continue please.
Okay. Thank you, Bilal, for fine comments. Next is marketing materials. I kind of already covered this, but sometimes you need banners for your project, or you need some like pins or caps or t-shirts again. And sometimes it can be very project specific things that can be a marketing material, and your partners might be willing to help fund those things. And that also could be considered as a cost share. Labor. If somebody does something for free for you or donate their time for free, let's say a speaker will come and talk at your workshop about like some expert from a local NGO will talk about environmental issues in this current community. That means that this person donated their time, which otherwise would they would charge for. So let's say they make $20 an hour giving a presentation. That means you have $20 in cost share if this person comes and speaks for free for an hour. Next is transportation. Sometimes some of the countries, especially large countries, they need transportation to go and do projects in the region. And sometimes alumni say that if you give me half of my transportation cost, I'll cover my other part of the transportation myself. So let's say there's a plane ticket that I need to purchase and it's $50 round trip. I'll pay $25 myself if you can fund $25 from GYC grants. And we have funded similar projects in the past. And sometimes maybe school will provide transportation for free. One of my projects that I did again, local city hall gave me a bus to transport volunteers to plant trees. So I'll always think about other alternative ways of finding a cost share. Money. Sometimes alumni just decide to collect money and help you, or your community might decide to collect money and help with the cause or in an event. And I already mentioned this earlier. In Tajikistan, alumni and their friends collected money, and they collected over $500 to buy sports equipment for one of the orphanages. Here you can see two sample support letters. Basically, we just went through a huge list of what can be a cost share, but also it does not mean that it is only this. These are the common cost share and in-kind contributions that we get, but it can be something else that is not listed here. Here we have two support letters. One is from Georgia and one is from Moldova. And it's just a template. It does not have to be like this. The big thing that a support letter has to have is a letterhead at the top, which mentions where this support letter is coming from, if it is a university or a local city hall or I don't know, some company, business, local business. And then it should be addressed to Global Youth Service Day Grant Review Committee. And it should say what this partner organization is offering as an in-kind contribution. For example, in first case, the Black Sea International Black Sea University was offering stationery, notebooks, pens, sticky papers, and certificates for free, which otherwise would cost $265, along with the rent of auditorium and computer equipment, right? On the other hand, CDA, Creative Development Association in Moldova, promised to contribute one of the projects that happened back in 2015 with the list of things that they were going to fund. And you can see they were ready to fund the travel costs for participants and team, which otherwise would cost about $250, or lunch and refreshments, which otherwise would cost $200. So This is basically two good examples what this Global Youth Service Day support letters could look like. And it's the same for Flex Alumni Grants and Yes Alumni Grants. A lot of times, support letters, especially when you're dealing with the government, can be in local language. And when that is the case, we honor our alumni translation, so you don't have to go to notary to translate it. Just attach both, attach the GPG or PDF of the support letter, original one, and also another document. It can be Word or PDF of your own translation of that original letter, and it would be acceptable. It is very, very important that the company that is giving you a support letter notes the amount in dollars. And sometimes some of the organizations will say, I cannot note it in dollars, especially government organizations might say this, but have them write their local currency, and then when you translate it, note what is the exchange rate. I think we have a question. Okay, thank you, Bilal, for answering that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So important dates. If we have any Yes alumni, I want you to pay attention very closely. I know the timeline for Yes alumni grants is a little bit different, and the same, like kind of Flex alumni grants timeline is different. For GYSD, it's closer. So as you know, the deadline is February 1st. Then we have applicants we expect will be notified in March 2017, early March 2017, that they receive the funding. In early April, we will transfer funds to you. Some of the countries will receive it from DC, some of the countries will receive it from their local offices, but it will most likely come as a transfer to your bank account in dollars. And then in April 2017, April 21 through 27, we have Global Youth Service Day weekend. We want your projects to fall on that weekend or close to the weekend. If your project is longer, maybe it continues for 1 month, please have Global Youth Service Day weekend included in this 1 month as well. If it is a week earlier, it can be also acceptable, but please try to have it on Global Youth Service Day weekend, okay? And then deadline for the final project is May 7th. So that means that you will send us description of what you did, and also financial report, which has a list of all the receipts that you got after you spent money, and the exchange rates and descriptions of what you spent this money on. Do we have questions at this point?
Please ask anything that you think you would need help. Otherwise, we can continue. Okay. No. Nope. No.
Okay. So Bilal, you can take over from here.
All right, just a second. Let me set things up real quick. There we go. Okay, and point. Okay. Can you see my screen, Natia?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Bilal Khan, as Nadia introduced me earlier, and you can see it. I work as program associate here with Flex Alumni program, but I'm also a Yes Alumni from Pakistan. And the reason I'm so excited for this webinar is because I got to do once with the Yes Alumni many years ago, because I used to work as evaluator and as alumni myself, applying for grants all the time. I did GYSD projects in Pakistan, and now I'm here working with all of the amazing people like yourself. So first of all, thank you so much for joining in. If you can write yes or no, if you have ever done a GYSD, Yes Alumni, or Flex Alumni grant project, if you can just write it in the comments. No? Okay. Yeah. Yes, big yes, with like 5 E's in there. I participated in one. Ani. Oh, I remember. Haven't done yet. No. Anna says no. Okay. And how many 2016 alumni who are applying for the first time do we have here? Altanai already did too. That's awesome. Okay, Camila is applying for the first time. Zakirov. Oh wow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's like 9. Okay, I think, okay, I got it. It's a big number. um, Everyone, here's the thing. So this, everything that Natia covered so far basically is the beautiful summary of what you need to know if you want to apply for a grant successfully. But Flex and Yes Alumni Grant, they are for different communities, but they're somewhat the same. You know, the main goals and how do we go about it, it's all the same. So types of projects, what types of projects do we have? Community service projects. If you have ever been part of a community service project since you have been back in your alumni community, say yes. Yeah, okay. See, we see a big number. Lena, I saw your, okay, that is amazing. What is community service project? Can somebody give me one example, like one project that they did that they think really helped their community or they did a service to their community? So if you can write one project in the chat, that would be awesome. Help and travel. Oh, of course. Help and travel is such a huge thing now. I love their page. I love the content that you guys are producing and what you're doing. Feeding homeless dogs. Oh, oh, that is amazing. Oh, thank you, Ardita. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so let's continue. Packing gifts for less fortunate kids. That's amazing. Then we have projects to promote communities involvement, professional development activities. What are professional development activities? If somebody can give one example. Charity for families in need. Good job, Annie. David did translating. Okay, sharing flex experience with villagers. Mary did that. I did that. That was my project for GYSD. If you know, in 2012 when I was an alumni, as a Yes alumni, my GYSD project was actually sharing my Yes experience with this small town, and a few kids, 2 kids actually, were so happy and inspired to hear about this opportunity that they ended up going to the scholarship. So it goes a long way. Okay, thank you so much. Professional development activities, projects to promote knowledge and understanding of English language and US culture. In Ukraine, there was a big year. It was a big year last year to do English. So there were many grant projects when we were evaluating, and the final ones, they were all about language promotion, English promotion, doing activities with students who could learn English and learn teamwork. So all of that comes into one big bubble, but it's great that you follow what your yearly theme is. Like for Ukraine, a lot of alumni knew that if they do something related to English, that would get a very good reception. So they really capitalized on that opportunity and were able to get grants up to 3,000, because I remember there are 2 or 3 more alumni who got grants all the way up to $3,000 to do their projects. Okay. Initiatives where alumni share skills, blood drive, especially after the tragedy in Kyrgyzstan. Altanai, thank you for sharing. Any other project judged to be in the spirit of Flex Alumni Program by the selection committee. So here's the thing, you're not bound by these few bullet points. You're not bound by what has been done before. As long as you have an idea, as long as you have passion to make that idea into an action, we are here for you. You can reach out to all of us. I just started doing this. This is the first full cycle that I'm going to do with grants, but working with Natia, working with Lauren, working with Rebecca, all of these wonderful people, I've learned so much, and I think there's so many different options that we can explore. So please do not feel that there's only certain points that you have to. As it says, any other projects judged to be in the spirit of Flex Alumni Program by this selection committee. Lego activity with kids from vulnerable families. I absolutely love this. Seriously, you guys, for all the alumni who are reading this right now and you haven't done this, just take notes, because I'm pretty sure you can do this as well. Okay, next. Okay, so in Flex Alumni Grants, there are 2 types, Flex and Yes Alumni Grants. There are individual grants. No, okay, let me reverse it back. Let's talk about Flex Alumni Grants, because we have a very special guest, a very dear colleague, a very good friend, a very accomplished Flex alumna who works for Yes program now. So she will be joining in few minutes to talk about Yes Alumni Grants. I'm just going to take you through Flex Alumni Grants because that's what I work on. So you would be getting a lot of, for GYSD, your point of contact would be Natia. She would be sending you all the information. We will be in the background. For Flex Alumni Grant, it would be Natia again with me, but I would be sending out the main emails, and all the communication would be between me and you, but Natia is always there to help us out. And then for Yes, of course, you know, you would have your local contacts and the chain of command regarding that. But Lena Fomenko, she's a Flex alumna. She will join us in few minutes and she will talk more about that in detail. I wanted to share something with you guys. This is a project that one of our alumni did, Zana Tissot, and this project is basically, she did a digital media boot camp in 2016, and this project was based on 4 weeks. The goal of the training was to basically encourage students to learn digital media skills and prepare them to pursue computer science degree, because that's what she was doing. There's one thing, the reason I'm showing you this video is because I cannot, according to the branding of Flex and according to the goals of the program, I could not really share this video on our social media because of the amount of branding it has for her university and the less amount it has for Flex program. So we discussed, so I was talking to them, I was like, I absolutely love this video. I think it's just, I cannot believe you made this. And, but I couldn't show it. So I want you to watch this video and tell me if we are on the same page on what's happening. Like if you would share this on Flex Alumni website or social media, or you wouldn't, or would you even know if it's a Flex Alumni grant project? So I'm just gonna quickly show. Okay. Just a second. Can you hear it? Can you see it?
However, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us.
Zana made this. If you guys, I just absolutely love this.
Co-founder of Pixel Studios, John Lasseter said, "Art challenged technology, and technology inspires the art. Ideas in our heads should be cleaned up, and technology should be challenged to find a way to bring these ideas to become reality. It's like giving the artist new color, which they didn't know before, and then we take this color, their colors, and we can create something altogether new."
Can everybody see this video and hear it perfectly? If you can write it, thank you. Awesome, awesome, thank you. Susanna's, she had total 8 people, including her, in this project. And you can see there were 30 amazing high school students who got the chance to be in camp. They learned about 3D design, and she did it for her university because they are starting a new bachelor's program. So this video, you would see there's a lot of branding that she has done creatively, but for her university, because they wanted to promote this. And once you watch the video, I will ask you a few other things. So pay real close attention. Thanks. So what do you guys think about the video? If you can write in one word in the chat. Okay. One thing, the reason I wanted to share it with you, I just wanted to share that how great this project was, and Zana is here with us. Thank you so much, Zana, for letting me share the video. What do you think is it's a guess, you can say it whatever you want. What do you think is the amount of the Flex grant that she got from us, and what is that number? Like $500, $1,000? What do you think, seeing this video, what it looks like? What is the number that comes to your mind in your mind that she used, the amount of money? Is it 500 grants? Okay, less than 500. Okay, $1,000. Oh, wow, sir, I have no idea how to even count that. It's $3 million. No, David, maybe $2,000. Okay, Leah, you're close. You're really close. About $100. No. How would you see the difference in your guesses, like $100, $200, $500? So that means that somehow we have to get on the same platform where we can think about these things, how they're budgeted, in a way that there's not a big difference, because each country has a different economical and financial conditions. So things that you would buy for $2 in, let's say, country A would be $3 in country B or like $10 in country C. So I understand that there is a big difference, but the biggest problem when it comes to applying for the grant projects is the budget. I'm really happy that Nadia was able to explain and go in detail and tell you guys how that works. So we are covered there. The project cost for this whole thing was $4,098, in which she got a flex grant, Zana got a flex grant for $2,353. So that was what we provided her. Then she had cost sharing from her university in amount of $1,700. So in total, it was around $400, but she also got two video operators to work with her because she directed the whole thing, she edited it. But this whole project could even go up to the value of $10,000 to $20,000 just based on the quality of the video. So what I'm trying to say, there are so many resources around you. You guys just have to see like which one you can use. There are a lot of friends that you have. There are a lot of acquaintances that you have that are working great. So you just need to tap into that. Okay, we will move on. So there are two types of grant for Flex Alumni. So there's one that is a travel grant, that is $250 max amount. So if you need less than that, if you need to match it, there should be cost share. But there are a lot of alumni who go on to these different conferences and learn these amazing things, and then they come back. And when they come back to their communities, they try to, their goal is basically that these applicants demonstrate their, readiness to share their experience with others in their community upon the completion of their professional development activity. So it's a smaller one. It's a smaller grant because we do not require as much information as we would require in a Flex Alumni or Yes Alumni grant. I'm not sure if they have one for Yes Alumni, but Lena can talk about that. They have individual grants, which is different. Then comes the group grants, which is the big one. And these grants are the one where a lot of alumni get confused when they open the application and they get nervous. They're like, oh, there's so many questions. How do I go about that? So what we can do, excuse me, what we can do with group grants is that you have to write everything. When you go into the application, you don't have to start right there. Break it down in your own computer, in your own Word document, that how you want to go about it. Because sometimes when I'm doing a follow-up with these students, they tell me, the alumni tell me that, oh, we don't remember what we wrote, so I have to provide them the application, which is fine. But the thing is that break it down into steps. How do you want to go about it? The first thing is you want to write a proposal. You want to write a narrative that explains what you want to do. First, you need to know yourself that how you're going to do it. And then you go into the budget. And we are there at every step to help you out. If you have any queries, if you have any confusion, we can provide you with examples. We can provide you with tips. We can provide you with all the resources that you need to complete this grant application. All you have to do is take the first step, which is the hardest. But once you do that, which you have done today, right now that you're listening to us, we can do it more. The way the funding works in this, that we send out once you submit the application deadline is March 2nd, 2017. So please make sure that you submit it to us by then. Once you do that, it goes into valuation. Once it goes into valuation, so if you're selected and if you have won the grant, which some of you did, I can see the names and I was able to talk to you. So we send you out information. If we need follow-up, which we do sometimes to make things clear, there's support letters missing. Their resumes of partner alumni missing. So these are the things that we want to cover. So we send that out. Then the first thing that you get is 80% of your grant. So once you complete that, then you get the 20%. Any questions at this stage, please write in the comment section. You good? Okay, we're good. Lena, are you in here? Lena Flamenco?
Hi, Bilal. Yep, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I think we talked a lot about Flex program and the Jiva SD. I would really like if you can jump in, introduce yourself, first of all. We all know you're awesome, but introduce where you're from. And then you can talk a little about Yes Alumni Grants, also about when you used to evaluate Flex Alumni Grants, so they have a better understanding of what I'm saying. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Liana Famienka, and as Bilal said, I'm a Flex alumna, and I'm a retired Flex alumni coordinator for Southern Russia. And I'm very happy to be here today with Bilal and Natia. And if I can share my experience with you, that would be the biggest joy of my day today. Unfortunately, I can't tell you much more about YES program grants, but I invite you all to visit this link and watch a video. I just sent it in the chat. Our webinar that we had for alumni grants that has a lot of very useful information about how to apply and what's the difference between the projects. So please take a moment and check it out. Maybe some of you who are in this chat have also joined us for that webinar, but if you have any questions, the best place would be to address them is our email address for YES Alumni, which is also on that, you can find following that link, and it's yesalumni@americancouncils.org. As for my experience as Flux alumna with writing grants and evaluating grants, I can tell you that that is the best opportunity for you to either make a difference in your community or to reconnect with your friends or to have a perfect professional development and go to some seminar grants. And both Bilal and Natia told you in many great details on what we usually pay attention to when we review grants, what your grant should be pretty much based on or aimed at. I could just once again give you advice. For me personally, what I pay attention when I would look at a grant is that you have a reasonable timeline that is very realistic and that you are actually able to complete your goal in the timeline that you provide for yourself. So this is an important part of a proposal that I would look at, is that you are actually realistic about your idea. Oh, thank you, Bilal. That is me. So in addition to that, your budget is also another important moment. Also helps evaluators to understand if you thought about your project and if you did a research. Your evaluator, your grant can be located anywhere and can be from any country. And so it is very realistic that that person does not know how much renting a bus in Armenia costs. But that is why it's important that you thought through everything and you did the calculation and you showed that you are invested in your project and you are providing the most realistic information possible. Also, Nadia was talking about letters of support, and that is an important thing that I personally would look at. That means that you found partners, that you shared your idea, and they already believed in it in your local community, that it is needed, that it is important, and it just helps to make your grant proposal stronger, that you actually are excited to make it happen. In general, as I said, I myself received my very first grant was the year after I returned from my exchange year, and that was a very small grant for about $300, and we did English classes for students with cerebral palsy in my hometown in Russia. And the amount of funding we received, we pretty much covered gifts for the students in the end of the completion of the English classes that we did with them. And we received a lot of in-kind support, such as volunteering hours from the English teachers who worked with us, and also the facility that the school for the students who gave us the space for free. So did that project make a difference in the community? It did. Many of those students actually participated in Flex. Well, I'm not sure if they went on Flex, but they for sure tried, because their English was on the level that allowed them to participate in testing. But I didn't really ask for much money, right? So it was less than $500 and the project was a success. So I just would like to wish you all good luck. And we're very much looking forward to getting your grant proposals from different countries, and dream big and think and plan your project. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena, for joining.
Sure, anytime.
Bilal, do you want to add something to these grants? Bilal, we cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Oh, can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now, Nadia?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I accidentally muted myself. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to share this code real quick. Flex Alumni Grant is an amazing opportunity to build and implement, to learn and to teach and to improve yourself with your community. Mariam did a project, and I just wanted to share this because I thought her project name was really funny. The first time I had to send out the email, her project is called Lead Out Loud, but the project title was LOL. So I think it always brightened my day whenever thank you so much, Lena, for joining. We really appreciate. Thank you. Lena just left. So she got $2,000 to work with youth of Georgian region. So there are a lot of different grant options that we can do. Now, Nadia? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Do you want to take it from here? If anybody has any questions, Nadia, for any of it, USD, yes, Flex, we are happy to help.
Yeah, but before you guys ask me questions, I want to add one note. Before, Bilal, can you go to the slide where it was listing Flex and Yes grants?
Just a second. I have to mute somebody because there's a lot of voice.
Okay, that's fine. So basically, I want to underline a few things before we move to the questions. As Bilal mentioned, there are kind of three types of Flex Alumni grants. One is travel grant, which you can apply to buy tickets, help with your visa, and after you come back, you have to do some kind of sharing your knowledge with the community. The other one is the individual grant, where you can organize small-scale community projects in your region. For example, you can do maybe like some debate tournament for $100, let's say, right? So that could be individual grant. For individual grant, you just need yourself as an organizer. If you have other friends who are helping you, Flex Alumni friends, that's great, but you're individual responsible for this grant. Group grants, as you see, go up to $3,000. And of course, you don't have to ask for $3,000. When I received Flex Alumni Grant back in 2011, I only received $590 to organize civic education summer school. So like, don't apply necessarily for $3,000. Just request as much as you need for your project. The big thing both for Flex and Yes group grants is that the leader of the group has to be a Flex alumnus, or for Yes grants, Yes alumnus. And then there has to be one other alumni who is on the organizing team. But other group members can be people who are not Flex alumni. They can be just your friends from university, high school, or community. So if you are planning to apply for group grants, make sure that you have at least one other Flex or Yes alumnus on your team. Difference between GYSD grants and Flex alumni grants is that cost share for GYSD grant is requirement and 50% is required. So if you're asking us for $200 to buy, let's say, coffee breaks and stationery, you have to have $200, let's say, that you're receiving for free as a venue, marketing materials, and computer rental for free. And that is requirement. For Flex alumni grants and Yes alumni grants, there is not a specific requirement, but it's recommended that you have at least 20% cost share or more. The bigger the cost share is, better it is. That means that you have a lot of other partners who are helping out with the project, and that means that project is a high scale one. So with the Flex alumni grants and Yes alumni grants, what I would advise is think big and try to have the projects that can be long-term and can leave a long-term results and maybe have follow-ups, because for USD grants it's a short period. It's maybe end of March and the April months, and then you report back in May. Whereas for Flex alumni grants, you receive money around the beginning of the summer, and then you have time until next year in the March to finish your project and report to Bilal. So if you want to do big scale event for a longer period of time and with much more money, you should definitely consider group grants. But if you want to do a project close in April that is connected with health, environment, human rights, community building, and amount of money up to $500 is sufficient, please apply for GYSD grant, or you can apply for both. A lot of times alumni think that they have to apply either for GYSD or Flex alumni grants, or if they apply for both, they will only receive one, which is not true. You can receive both grants. It's just about the idea and the project proposal. If you have a great idea, you can receive both. And here you see for Flex Alumni grants and USD grants, you have to go to americancouncils.org/FlexAlumni for yes, americancouncils.org/YesAlumni. And sorry, I did not want this to go so long, but I want to give you as much information as possible. And here, very quickly, let me show you one thing that, okay, so.
Natia, meanwhile, you're setting it up. We had one alumna who wanted to speak. Zana, if you could quickly, you have 3 minutes to talk about your project experience. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Jana. I'm Flex alumni from Kazakhstan. So I have created Digital Media Bootcamp, as you saw before, maybe 15 minutes ago. Just come to my page on Facebook, and you can see the video. So I just want to talk a little about the project. The main thing for alumni I want to suggest is to have the idea how this project can bring this idea to your society in your country. So this actually brought me a great thing, and why I applied for the grant of this project to encourage young talented kids to learn digital media skills. So this is what I have done, and actually it worked. It really got successful. I didn't expect that it's going to be really successful in my country, but everyone loves it, and I have so many requests from adults to teach them, not even kids. So it's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm planning to do this project every year in my university, because this is really great promotion for university for young kids. So I'm really glad that this is a huge start to me to bring something to my society.
What is the advice that you would give to alumni who are listening and applying for grants real quickly? Like, how can they do a better job at that, talking from Flex alumni point of view?
I think the big thing, first of all, I would like to suggest to talk to alumni who already did the projects before. What have they done? What they brought to Kazakhstan, for example, or to any other countries? And second of all, what is the value of the project to bring to society in your country? And if it's going to be positive and it's going to bring something really huge, then you can apply for it. This is my two suggestions at all.
Okay.
That's
Thank
it.
you so much, Sana. We really appreciate you joining us, and we hope you continue doing this with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, Nadia, on to you, please.
Unmuting myself. Thank you, Jana, again, so much for joining us today and sharing your experience. So this is how your homepage should look when you register for ICE forms. And basically, as I said, you go to ICE-AmericanCouncils.org/FlexAlumni or YesAlumni. And then here is a display of the applications that I can open. As a Flex alumna, I have access to USD Global Youth Service Day grants and Flex Alumni grants. And here I already opened. Let's go through quickly through USD grant. Here is just information about the requirements of the grant. I really would like to ask all of you to read it before you start writing, because they're very important information that we carefully put together for you to understand. And you can change pages going from here or here. So going to the next part. This is a selection process, and here there are a lot of questions that if you answer all of these questions, you should be able to have really good proposal. And then going to actual application instructions, more of how to work with PDFs and how to upload your documents. This part number 4, is where you start information about your project. It's basically like name, placement, organization, and your information, your social media information, emails, project title, date, and location. So it's basically like very easy to fill out very soon. Then here you list your group members. For Global Youth Service Day grants, you don't have to have group members, but if you do, that's like added bonus for you, because there will be somebody to help you out carry the process. If it is a Flex alumnus, please note them here. If it is other USG government alumni, note them there. Beneficiaries, if how you heard about this grant. We collected information. And here, part 6 is where you start your project proposal. Again, here are more questions to help you write down your proposal really well. I advise you write your proposal in the Word document, because sometimes this system does not save it when you keep typing for a long time. So I suggest that you put your proposal in a Word document, and once it's done, to copy and paste it here. And click save, save changes at the end. And then in 200 words, you have to share how this, if at all, this is connected to your Flex or Yes Year abroad in America, or maybe this project is connected to something else when you went to university. So just let us know, and it's just 200 words, and it makes us understand why this is project important for you. And then next is budget. For budget, you have to include total grant funding requested. So if you're requesting $200 from us, you write 200 here. If you're requesting, if you have 215 cost share, you write it here. And total would be this plus the other amount. So total project cost would be 450. Even though you only receive money for 200 and the rest 250 is maybe cost share from other partners, the project cost in total is 450. And here, let's say we have item number 1, budget category is logistics. And item description is transportation, and then item narrative is like transportation from Tbilisi to Baku, and then grant funding. I am asking from American councils to pay, let's say, bus tickets, tickets in Tbilisi, for 5 trainers, each at $1, right? And then grant funding is, I need $5 in total, right? So cost share, maybe they pay for the other ones themselves, so that will be another 5, and total cost is 10. And if you want to add another budget line, you keep going. So you can add as many lines as possible to your budget, like this. And again, don't forget to save changes. Here you need to attach a support letter. If you want to figure out like support letters and how they should look like, let us know. Here is sample support letters that you can download and open. Here, the one that was in the PowerPoint, number of them, how they could look like. And then we also have sample project budget for you as a reference. So to just take a look once you're. So those are the instruments for you for the, and here just write your name, right? And that's it. You click save changes and submit. If you have not filled out any of the required information, it won't let you submit the project. So make sure that everything is filled out before you click submit. So this is all about USD grants. Now about Flex Alumni grant. It's a little bit different, and I want to show this to you. Again, here is instructions. And again, I ask you to read those to write the correct proposal or well-written proposal. More instructions and contact information. Again, here you write information about your project. Here, if you see question number 8, please specify which type of grant application you're applying for. You have to answer this question to see what is the questions. For travel grants, there are different questions. For a project, there are different questions. So if you did not mark any of them, every other page below 4 will be blank. But now, since I marked travel grants, see, it gives me questions. What kind of event would you like to fund with your travel grant, conference, training, workshop? Describe the event. And in this case, you don't submit support letter, you submit the acceptance letter to the workshop and proposal, like what you would like to do, and you attach your resume. You write the dates of the workshop that you're attending, event description, deadline, budget is the same. And here, attach letter of acceptance that I mentioned earlier, and then you submit it. But let's go back to about your project, and let's change it to project now. And you will see how different it is. See? Now it's going to regenerate. And now here it asks you if you want individual group or individual project or group project. And then it will give you different questions depending on that. You just go to group project. And then here it kind of looks similar to GYSD grant. It just has slightly more questions. So here it has project summary, which is 200 words. Basically, you should think about this as a summary of the whole proposal that you put together. And I always like to say this, think about it this way. When an evaluator looks at summary, she should know when she reads rest of it, what is the problem, what is the solution, what you're doing, how much you're requesting, and who are the people helping you. And 200 words is not a lot for that, but you have to summarize everything very short about your proposal here. And then you have, it's better if you share how this is related to your experience. And then after that, we have actual narrative, 1,800 words about describing your project to answer all of the questions that I showed you earlier. Here you upload the CVs and resumes of your team members. So we know that you have experienced team members. Something that we did not see in GYSD grants is grants timeline. Here you have to write down start date of your project and date of your project and name of and description of your project. For example, stationery shopping, right? And then responsible person is like Natia, and deadline is by, I don't know, July 1st here, and it shows us calendar. So you get the point. The next is, sorry. See, it did not let me mark January. Perfect. And we go to next. Here, grant budget, similar to GYSD. Here you can download sample letter of support for your reference as well. And then certification of applicant. Okay, so this was a quick run of the application. If you have any challenges with either applications, please feel free to write both to me and Bilal. We are there for you.
We have a question. Amir, he says, if alumni is studying abroad, can they do any of these projects there, or is it only for home community?
No, they can do it abroad as well. That is allowed, and we've had the experience of doing this in the past. We have had projects in Lithuania when there was no Flex program in Lithuania. We've had projects in other countries too, and this year I already received similar question, and I know for a fact that we can sponsor grant. We can award grants for projects that are not happening in their home country.
There you go, Amir. That's the answer. So please, if you have any ideas, just reach out to us. Now, Natia, are we ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I think I'm done for the most part. I realized that we've taken an hour and a half, and I see we still have tons of people attending, which is shockingly great news. Thank you for tolerating us for so long.
Sorry, Natia. It's actually, I made 31 other profiles to attend this webinar.
Oh, you would.
Okay,
anyone,
so are you guys still with us? Please say yes. If you have any questions, we can talk about that later. But if you're listening to us, say yes. All right.
Okay. Wow.
Awesome.
So now we're ready for questions, and you can type your question or you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay?
Yes, let's do that.
Wow, so many people below.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Do you feel confident that now you can apply for GYSD, Flex, or Yes Alumni grants? If you can, say yes, Bilal, we can. Or yes, Natia, if you are ready for it. Okay, if you're ready for GYSD grants, say yes, Natia. Yes, we can. Yes, Nadia. Okay, all
I'm
right. Nadia,
excited.
you better write all of their names, and if any of them says they're not doing it, so we will hold them accountable. We have recording of them saying yes to you.
Awesome. I
Okay.
already wrote down everyone's name who participated today, so I'll follow up.
Okay, awesome. And yes, we will share Nadia's email too. I have to. I am CR. Come on, David. It's a good thing. Don't make that sad emoji or face. If you're ready for Flex Alumni Grant, say yes, Bilal. We are.
Bilal wants to feel special.
Come on, man.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please. Please say your name and please go
My
ahead.
name is Irakli. First things first, hello everyone.
Hello.
So my question would be, first at least I'm sorry I joined the webinar a little late. So can I like work in a group with non-alumni people on my group and do project with them, or should it be like whole group of alumni?
To answer your question, Irakli, which grant are you thinking to apply for?
The last one.
Flex Alumni Grant. For Flex Alumni Grant, and I assume you want group grant, which is up to $3,000. For that, you have to have at least one other Flex alumna on your team, alumna or alumnus. Does not matter the gender. So one Flex alumnus should be the project leader, should be the person who receives grant funding, and there has to be one other Flex alumnus on the team. But then you can have 4 more people who are not Flex alumni.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, any questions, any other questions? If you want to speak up, now would be the time, because we'd love to hear some of your voices. If you have any questions, any confusion, any feedback. All right. I think
everyone, I'm Ala from Moldova. Thank you so much, Bilal and Nadia. Now I have all the tools necessary to ask alumni to apply for the grant, because I sit throughout all the workshop, and it's not as hard as they say it is. So thank you so much for enlightening me as well.
Thank you so much for joining, Ala.
Yeah, thank you.
I just sent everyone my email and Bilal's email. If you forget this, so there is always a Flex alumni at AmericanCouncils.org that you can write to with any questions, and we will make sure to answer your questions as completely as possible.
Just one last thing, everyone. Do you think it would be helpful to you if we have like a little video tutorial of how to do applications? Because that's something me and few alumni, we were, along with Natia and Lauren and Rebecca, we want to do something that you can always look at you if you're confused how the budget thing works. Do you think that would be something you guys would need? So if you can write it now. Okay, awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. I just added some more work to my plate. Awesome. Okay, no, thank you so much, everyone. Really, really appreciate such great response. And Natia, thank you so much once again for leading it and doing such a great job. Anything else, please write in the comments, say it, Natia, to you, and then I can stop the recording and say goodbye to everyone. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everyone. Please share our Flex Alumni social media post. Thank you.
Bilal. Sneaking campaign in the webinars. Thank you, everyone, for your very active participation. I have been doing this for 3 years. This is the most active webinar we've ever had. So thank you very much for your attendance, for your patience, for your, attention. It was great to work with you, and I'm looking forward to beat last year's numbers with grant applications. So last year we received 74 and over 100 for GYSD and Flex Alumni grants, and I hope this year numbers go up even more up because we have new countries added to the grants.
Yes, please do it. Please reach out, because last year for Flex Alumni we had only 83 applications of the students who applied, and then we ended up giving out 45 to 50 alumni who got the grant. But this is my first complete year doing this. I'm really excited. I really want the numbers to go up for GYSG, for Yes Alumni grants, for Flex Alumni grants. Thank you once again. Have a great night wherever you are. Enjoy your day. Hold your loved ones dear, and we will be in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.